and our viewing audience. I'm going to ask you to kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to ask you to remain standing. To keep in mind our troops that are in harm's way, our prisoners of war, are killed in action, are missing in action. Keep everybody in your prayers and thoughts that are dealing with this pandemic and any personal intentions you may have. Thank you very much. The first item on our agenda is the consideration of the July 15th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting minutes. Commission, you have a copy of those minutes. You've had an opportunity to review them. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve those minutes. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We have two items on our agenda this evening under the subdivision land development. AGP Group Management LLC requesting preliminary and final land development. This is for 300 Penn Avenue in Levittown. I am in receipt of a letter requesting that this application for 300 Penn Avenue be taken off the agenda this evening. So I would entertain a motion to remove this presentation off the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Unanimous. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, can you hear me, by the way? I know it's hard talking through the mask.
Yes.
And I don't have wipers on my glasses, so sometimes it gets foggy. So the next item on the agenda is Anthony Phyllis Circle LLC requesting final subdivision approval to create parcels to be offered to and merged with adjoining lots on the property located on Anthony Circle and Minot Avenue, Croydon. Tax parcel number 5-52-96-007 in an M-2 heavy manufacturing zone district of Bristol Township. And you are the representative?
Yes, my name is Caroline Edwards. I am the attorney for the applicant.
And that's Carolyn?
Yes, Caroline Edwards.
Caroline. Good evening, Caroline. How are you?
Good evening. I represent the applicant, Anthony Phyllis Circle LLC. The applicant has an agreement of sale for this property located on Anthony Circle in the Holly Industrial Park. The legal owner is Doolittle Corporation. You may recall we were before you last month on land development plans to develop this property and to develop a property in the same industrial park located on Phyllis Drive. The plans before you tonight are subdivision plans. We kind of separated the land development aspect which dealt with a building, and then this is a subdivision plan. And the plan is up on the screen if you can see it. And the purpose of this subdivision is to create, there's lots, I guess they're kind of a light gray. The bottom portion maybe is dark gray, and then green are residential lots located on Minot. And the purpose of the subdivision is to create small parcels that will be added to increase the rear yards of those residential properties. It's going to reduce the size of the Anthony Circle. It's going to reduce the size of the Anthony Circle property, but we went in and did our calculations for the land development based upon the assumption that this was going to go through. So any variances that we needed, we've already obtained to allow this to go forward. The Anthony Circle property is 3.012 acres. We have submitted these subdivision plans. We've received review letters from both Gilmore and from the Bucks County Planning Commission. We don't really have any issues with those. I believe all of the items will comply or are being addressed with the Township Engineer's Office. We do have a waiver list, and if you'd like to go through either or both the review letters and the waiver list, we're happy to do that.
Thank you, Caroline. I don't think it's necessary to go through the review letter. The fact that you submitted the waiver list, we are certainly asking that the review letter, everything that is not listed in your waiver list, will complies.
Of course, yes.
Okay. So we will just go through your waiver list, although before we start that, I do understand that, and if you don't mind me, you using your pointer, those properties, if you want to point back up to the properties there, I noticed on the right-hand side, there's a little spot, I understand, next to that little gray area. I understand that is up for a conversation about that being donated, that piece, to a piece of the property. Is that correct, Samantha?
We moved over the line to meet the requirement, but I have no problem taking it all out because it doesn't do anything.
That's the impression that I was given in my discussion.
My only concern at this point is they had a,
And excuse me, if you don't mind, approach here and identify yourself, please.
my name is Marty Wade.
Marty,
I'm
good
the,
evening.
I'm the senior project engineer, project manager.
Okay,
What we were a little concerned with was, we know they had a flooding problem, and I didn't know at this point whether I was going to need that section to divert water to get it back onto the Anthony Circle portion, as I brought it down and took it into the detention basin.
okay. So,
We have no intention of using it,
okay,
except if I need it because of the drainage issues.
and that's fine. So that just clarified what I was to understand, so that's what I needed to know. Thank you. So if it stays, the plans stay the way they are, that's fine. Correct, Samantha?
Right.
There's going to be some movement of that line, correct?
No, it's already moved on that
Oh,
drawing.
it's already moved
Yes.
on, okay.
Okay. And now, Caroline, if we can go through the waiver list, that'd be great.
Certainly. So we have a list of waivers. Many of these are very similar to the waivers that you reviewed last month with respect to the land development plans. But I'll go through them individually so we have an opportunity to discuss them. The first waiver is from section 177-14, requesting a waiver so that we're not required to submit both preliminary and final plans. We feel this is a fairly straightforward application. We don't know that it would benefit from going through the process twice, so we ask for that waiver. The second waiver is from section 177-91.A1 and 177-92.A1 to permit the plan to be drawn at a scale of 1 inch equals 30 feet instead of the required scales of 1 inch equals 50 feet or 1 inch equals 100 feet. We chose 1 inch equals 30 feet to allow additional detail to be more easily seen. The next waiver request is from 177-93.C3 and 177-92.C3 to allow an aerial photograph in lieu of requiring the location and names and widths of streets and other details that are listed in that. If you want me to read them, I can, but
No,
there's.
that's okay. It's not
okay.
necessary.
On or within 200 feet of any part of the tract. Our experience is that an aerial photograph actually can provide more accurate detail because you're seeing what's actually there. And finally, 177-92.C5, to permit the plan to only show underground utilities which have been located. If we provided the information that we have, to provide additional information would require going on to private property. If there's any additional detail, if the township feels that something needs to be investigated, we're happy to do that. But generally, we'd request a waiver from that.
Thank you. Is there anything else?
If anybody has any questions,
Okay.
we don't have anything else to present.
Commission, do you have any questions?
Through the chair. I
Kathy?
just want to commend you for having such a clean presentation. So in order to expedite these matters, for us to have clean paperwork and have the waiver lists set out in a separate sheet, and then also to a response to the engineer's original letter, it's just actually what we're looking for to be forthcoming from everyone who comes in front of us. So I just want to say thank you to
Thank you very much.
for doing what you did. It's really appreciated.
Thank you, Kathy. Bob, do you have anything? Samantha
None.
and Sean. Are there any questions from the audience? Comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. In regards to Anthony Phyllis Circle LLC, requesting final subdivision approval to create parcels to be offered to and merge with adjoining lots on the property located on Anthony Circle and Minot Avenue, Croydon, tax parcel number 5-52-96-007 in an M2 heavy manufacturing zone district of Bristol Township. We would recommend to council to grant that preliminary and final subdivision, and to indicate that you are in compliance with everything from our township's engineer's letter, except for the waivers, and we would recommend for those waivers to be granted.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any comments or questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Our next item on the agenda is consideration to recommend the council designate the following residential properties as blighted.
John, if it's all right with you, I can still work from here, so I can work the slide at the same time.
Pardon me?
I can do it right from here, so I can work the slide.
Yes, you can, and you can work the slides, that'll be fine. So the properties that we have are, as a matter of fact, I will turn this presentation over to Bob. He will be showing slides and explaining these properties that have come in front of us for blighting.
So just a brief summary of vacant homes. We began with 204 properties in November 2015. As of today, we're down to 66. Today, we're recommending 2 homes for blight. First being 1833 Hazel Avenue, Bristol, PA. Second being 22 Butternut Road in Levittown, PA. 1833 Hazel Avenue, Bristol, PA. Earliest documented vacant complaint was December of 2010. On June 18th, the Township's Blight Committee voted to blight the property. And then on June 19th of 19, the Planning Commission then reviewed and voted to blight as well. After voting from both Blight Committee and Planning Commission, a family member from the family reached out to the Township. Heather Mahaley was working here then, and claimed they would maintain the property. Since hearing from the family, the Township has cut the grass and maintained the property multiple times. and the property remains a nuisance to the neighborhood. A letter was then sent to the homeowner in January of 2020, given a 10-day notice to maintain the property, or we will send the council and blight the property, and no response was received at that time. An additional letter was sent then by myself in May of 2020 for the active code enforcement violations, and we also received no response at that time. This property has been a problem in Bristol Township since early 2010 for the same ongoing issues. I have some pictures here as well. Shows the frontage of Hazel Avenue on the left side of the property. This was right after our subcontractor cut the grass. You could see the overgrowth all around the property with the trees. The back door was wide open at that time. There was a doghouse on the side that was flipped over. 3 more pictures shows the back of the property, a garage all overgrown with weeds, and the side door that was open at that time. That's all I have for 1833.
So Bob, before we go into the second property, I would like to, well, Mark, you're going to talk to Bob after this meeting. Okay. Continue, Bob, sorry.
So, number 2 on the blight recommendation would be 22 Butternut Road. That's in Levittown, PA. Ongoing issues with this property since 1989, all under the same owner, which is a VA-owned home since 1989. Earliest vacant complaint was documented in 2015. Bristol Township has cut the lawn several times and recently bored and secured the front door and front window that was smashed in. The roof on this property is in bad shape. It's deteriorating actively. One heavy snowstorm and the roof is going to collapse. Like I said, this house is VA owned, and we're working with the RDA and Fitzpatrick's office to get that process rolling. We sent multiple notices to the property, all unanswered. First notice was sent in February, 2 were sent in May, and 1 in June. Pictures of that property as well. Shows the front, back, and sides of the house. Front window there wasn't boarded. That was smashed in, and the front window, or the front door, was wide open at that time, and shows the deterioration of the roof, both front and back. Questions?
Thank you, Bob.
No problem.
So Commission, these properties have been placed in front of you for your recommendation to council to blight. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. Would recommend to council to blight both for code enforcement 1833 Hazel Avenue, Bristol, and 22 Butternut Road, Levittown.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, Commission. Having nothing else on our agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. We're adjourned. Good evening, everyone.